Once you've successfully set up your site inside of Dreamweaver, you're ready to move your files to your web server. What you can do is come over to the Files panel. If your Files panel is not visible, you can go to the Window menu, and from there you can choose Files. You'll notice in the Files panel, on the far right-hand side, there's a button called Expand. If you click it, the panel will open up into a full window that's divided into two sections. You'll notice on the right-hand side, we have the local files. On the left-hand side, we have the remote files. Now, what's important is that you click this button right here to establish the connection to the web server. If you don't see anything over here on the left, as soon as you click this button, you should see content on the left. Now, to move the entire site, you can simply select the local site folder, and you can click this button here, which is to put files. Personally, what I like to do is select the files I want to move. In this case, it would be all of them. So I'm selecting the top file, holding down the Shift key on the keyboard and selecting the last file. That gives you the ability to select an entire range of files. Then simply click and drag them to the www folder in this case. Now you may not have a www folder, but if you do, that's where they would go. Now you will get this dialog box asking you if dependent files should be included in the transfer. In this case, you can go ahead and say yes. It'll take a moment, but all of the files will eventually appear here on the remote side. So what happens if you make a modification or change to a file? Well, what you can do is just upload that one file. If we go ahead and double-click the index page and make some type of change, the change that I'll make will happen over here. I'll add a little character, and then I'll save the document. Again, I'll come over and expand the Files panel. At this point, what I want to do is click and drag the index page to the www folder. Now when I get this dialog box, I really don't want to include the dependent files because I only changed the HTML file. So I'll go ahead and click No. Once you click No, that file will be uploaded. So as you can see, moving files between the local side and the remote side is incredibly easy. Typically, what I'll do is just simply drag and drop. If I decide that I need a file over here on the remote side, if, for example, I know this file is newer on the remote side, I'll simply click and drag it to the local side. And in this case, I don't need the dependent files, so I'll say no. So that's all you have to do, is you have to move files from one side to the other. Once you have them on your web server, you should be able to type in your domain name in a web browser, and it should pull up your index file.